So we are already in December, it's the end of the year, and it's time to reflect on what we achieved during the year, what we accomplished and what we want to accomplish next year. And in terms of fragrances, it's all about thinking and reflecting on what we purchase, what we want to sell, what will be our approach next year. And also, I mean, what fragrances we wore the most, what fragrances we got most compliments, if we got any. And so in this video, it's about my most complimented fragrances of this year. And I always do this every year. Every year, by the end of that year, I will talk about my most complimented fragrances. And so this year will not be different. Hi everyone, I'm Jolima from Scented Moments channel, where I help you to discover the wonderful world of perfumery. So in this video, I want to talk about my most complimented fragrances of 2022. But this time, this will not be a top 10 or 10 fragrance list, but 8. Because these were the fragrances that really got me the most positive attention, the most positive feedback. And I mean, I think it would be pointless to mention more fragrances, because these 8 in the end were the ones that, some of them that I wore the most, and of course are the ones that I received more good feedback. So it would be pointless to mention more than these 8 in the end. And this will be a ranked video from my least complimented to my most complimented fragrance. So let's start in the number 8 spot. It's a fragrance that I discovered this year, and it's one of the best discoveries of this year. Actually, I want to upload a video about my best fragrance discoveries of this year. This was one of them, from the house of Heeley, and it is Rose Aria in the number 8 spot. So Rose Aria, it's a beautiful rose fragrance. This smells like the most silky rose petals. And it's so smooth, such a smooth fragrance. It's fresh, silky rose petals. And the most surprising thing is that this then completely changes, and it goes into a very, not very, but still, it's an animalic fairy musk. Beautiful. This fragrance is beautiful. I love the way that this changes, and this is, again, it has a sweetness in here, but a very mild sweetness underneath this fresh, watery, silky rose petals, and then you have this very slightly animalic musk in the dry down. That it's just beautiful. It's really a beautiful fragrance, and surprisingly or not, and actually this list specifically, it's very random. It's probably the most random complimented fragrances that I have here, and you will see why. Because usually when I talk about my most complimented fragrances, usually I include Stefano Berlucas like Soledad Jeddah, or Serjoff, or Rosé Nomatu number 5, or, I mean, the usual suspects, or Fan Your Flames by Nichane. This video will not include any of them. So yeah, it was very interesting in that regard. But in this one, actually got me quite a lot of good feedback, because it's very elegant at the same time, and very refined and sophisticated, and it's unique. I really love this one. It's a high quality rose fragrance. Well, I would say rose musk fragrance. Stunning, very unique perfume right here. It's Rose Aria by Heeley. Now, coming in the number 7 spot, it's from the house of Puredistance, and it is Puredistance M. What a fragrance this is. Unfortunately discontinued. Now, I'm saying that this is discontinued because although this was reformulated, so the brand says this was reformulated, actually the nose behind the new version of M, which is now called like MZ or P, so it has some lettering in front of the M. So, but the nose behind that new, this, let's call it the new version of M, it's Antoine Lee. But I'll be honest, it has nothing to do with M, the true M. So this says here that it was created by Roger Dove. M for me is like a rich, more spicy, more thick version of Bel Ami by Hermes. What a fragrance. And this is spiciness to the max. Spicy, incensey, a bit dark, has a darkness into it, leathery, very dry leather. Fuck, I absolutely love this. This is just to die for. It has a natural smelling feeling to it. And it's thick. It's a very thick fragrance. I don't know why they decided to reformulate, because the new version, again, has nothing to do with this fragrance. I mean, it's a completely new fragrance. So I would just prefer that they would just discontinue M and just, I mean, release another fragrance, a new fragrance with a new name that will not be connected with this. Because the new M is dry. It's dry, yes, but it's like a woodsy, leathery fragrance. So it doesn't have any spices, doesn't have any smokiness, it's not interesting. Even it's not an interesting fragrance. And even the leather accord is almost non-existent. So it's a dry, woodsy, cedar wood like fragrance. I mean, that it has nothing to do with this one. M for me, it was the original M. It was the best from Puredistance. Well, it is what it is, but this got me quite a few good feedback. But this usually does. M, actually, I would say that this is probably the only usual suspect that I have here, from my experience, of course. I think M is one fragrance that always got me good feedback, surprisingly enough, because I think, or at least I thought, that this would be very challenging because of the spices. But no, actually, this is perfect for night out. This is perfect for formal events where you will definitely stand out, because this has a performance for it. You will fill a room, people will smell you, and people will be intrigued by what you are wearing. This gives really a very dark, mysterious, sensual feel. It's wonderful. It's a great fragrance. Grab while you can. Unfortunately, if you love this type of scents, it's Puredistance M, and it's just number 7 spot. In the number 6 spot, now this is very popular, especially when we are talking about complemented fragrances. This is a fragrance that usually comes up. It's from House of Dior, and it's Dior Homme Intense. This fragrance never fails to impress. This is a sweet iris, like sweet makeup-y iris with embred seeds. So it's musky, you have a bit of wood, you have a bit of suede. This fragrance, it's pure sensuality. Pure sensuality. Oh yeah. Perfect for romantic settings, perfect also for a night out. This is perfect for formal events also. Doesn't need any introduction. It's one of the most well-regarded designer fragrances of all time, in my opinion. It's Dior Homme Intense, but this time just number 6. And it's number 6 because on number 5 I have a fragrance that goes in that territory, goes in that genre, but it's more intense, more natural smelling, especially in the iris. So it's from House of Baruti. It's Dama Koupa. Dama Koupa is one of my favorite iris fragrances currently. It's definitely on my top 3. It's brilliant. Wow, this is intoxicating. This is like the most butchery iris. It has texture. It has a velvetiness into it. You have the cacao in here. And it's quite resinous. It has a gooiness in here, and it's simply to die for. So it has a lot of resins. It's sweet, cacao, buttery iris. Iris, it's one of my all-time favorite notes, and iris just works on my skin. It's a note that it works and usually always gets positive feedback, no matter what type of iris fragrance I'm wearing. But usually, I mean, people will say you smell good or that smells nice. And when I say by people, it's like my friends or colleagues or girlfriend, family. So I mean, it's not like a completely random person that, I mean, will chase me and it will say, oh my god, you smell so nice. No, I never had that type of experience. And usually people that compliment me are, again, people that know me or are more comfortable by complimenting me in whatever I'm wearing, either my clothing, either the fragrance that I'm wearing. So it's usually people that I know, people that know me, and they are comfortable by complimenting me no matter what. And usually iris fragrances always get me that positive attention, and this one is no stranger to it. But because this one is richer and this one is very intense, this is an extrait de parfum, of course it gets more attention, and it's to die for. Again, one of the best iris out there. It's Dama Koupa by Baruti, and it's just number 5. Now coming in number 5 spot, it's from the house of Profumum Roma, Sorriso. Can't go wrong with this one. This is a gourmand fragrance. This has chocolate. It has this chocolate pudding with like an orange peel on top, and it's only that you will get. It has also a vanillic touch, like a vanillic chocolate pudding with orange on top, or orange peel on top, and it's all what you will get. And it's to die for. It's so yummy. Oh, it's so yummy, so yummy and so addicting. Seriously, I just want to bite this bottle. Delicious. And it's a fragrance that it will project and it will last. So this is actually one of my girlfriend's favorite fragrances on me. Actually, she loves to wear this also. It's a great scent. You can't go wrong with this one. Usually chocolate fragrances, I mean, can go both ways. Either very sweet and very overly synthetic, or they can be actually done really well, very realistic, but then at the same time it's like, oh, I don't want to smell like chocolate in the end. I think this one is very well balanced, very realistic in the chocolate pudding feel, with the vanilla, with the orange. I mean, this is not too much, although great performance, but it has a natural smelling feeling to it, and it's not your typical very artificial chocolate smell, and it's not your milky nutty chocolate type of smell. So I think it's a fragrance that it just works. It works perfectly. Absolutely love this. It's from the house of Profumum Roma in the number 4 spot, Sorriso. Now let's talk about the top 3, and this is the most random top 3 ever, and the most surprising, definitely the most surprising, because in the number 3 spot, it's actually one of my most worn fragrances of this year, but I was not expecting that it would receive such a good feedback. It's from the house of Caron, Puredistance, lavender and vanilla. It's all you get here, and this is very popular in the. I mean, this is a classic. So if you like lavenders, I think this is quite popular. But again, being a classic as it is, I mean, I was not expecting that I would receive, I mean, good feedback with this one, but the fact is that I did. I really did, and this is so simple, but so good. Because again, it's lavender and vanilla. I mean, it's a combination that, I mean, it's 2 notes that you can smell it pretty much everywhere. Maybe because of that, because there is this familiarity into it that people tend to be attracted to, and because this is a very well done lavender and vanilla. I mean, this is a staple in terms of lavender, and I think this is a must-have fragrance in my opinion, or at least you must know this fragrance. It's that type of staple fragrance, and it's very simple. Again, it's very simple, very well done. Good performance. I mean, it's not a beast, but good performance. And yeah, I mean, people always say, "Oh, you smell nice." Oh, yeah, I like that fragrance. What you're wearing, like nothing like wow, but always. It was very impressive, and for me, it was like, really, okay, that's something new. But well, somehow it seems that this works on my skin, and I'm happy for it. Love it. I mean, it has a comforting feel. I love this fragrance. I love to wear this fragrance when I'm going to bed. My girlfriend loves this fragrance. Loves it. I mean, it's also mind-blowing. So yeah, I mean, number 3 spot, Caron pour un homme. It's, yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising, but here it is. Number 3 spot, Caron pour un homme. Now coming in number 2 spot. Now this was not as surprising, although to be in the top 3 is surprising. Not surprising has been a complimented fragrance, or a fragrance that you would receive good feedback, or at least that I would receive good feedback. I mean, it's not surprising, but to be my number 2, it's very surprising. But here it is, from the house of Cartier, Pasha de Cartier Parfum. Yes, very surprising to be number 2, but it's very good. Again, lavender, so it has the barbershop feel, but you have this honeyed, ambery, boozy facets that maybe that's the reason why this has so much. I receive so many good feedback. It's because of this sweet honey. It's very smooth. Of course, the lavender here, like the barbershop nuances, the freshness in here also helps to enhance, I mean, the likability of the fragrance. Yeah, and it's sweet. I mean, I think this really combines the best of both worlds. So you have the freshness of the barbershop nuances, and then you have the sweetness. You have a boozy nuance here. You have a honeyed, ambery facet. So, I mean, you have all the ingredients for a very likable fragrance. And this, it's Cartier. It's very smooth. It's very unique. Very gentlemanly. It's mature. It's a bit more mature. It's not your bubblegummy sweet scent, but I think it's sweet done right. It's a brilliant perfume in the end, from the house of Cartier, and Cartier really doesn't know how to produce bad smelling fragrances in the end. This is Pasha de Cartier Parfum, my number 2 most complimented fragrance of 2022. And now let's go to my number 1. And my number 1 is really the most surprising fragrance here, that I would never, ever would thought that this would be my most complimented fragrance. First of all, I will never expect that I would receive even a single compliment with this fragrance. But here we are, number 1. From Chanel, from the Les Exclusives, Sycomore. And this is one of my most worn fragrance of this year, as you can see. So it's only natural that, I mean, maybe I would receive some feedback, but I mean, from some feedback to most complimented it's still a big step. But here we are again. Sycomore Eau de Parfum by Chanel. Absolutely love this. This is the most elegant vetiver fragrance out there. It's like a nutty, creamy vetiver. I love it. And it has a grass in it, definitely, like a grassy, dry, nutty, creamy vetiver. Beautiful, beautiful. It's really to die for. This fragrance smells so good, so good. And yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, vetiver, because vetiver usually, it's not a note that usually you think of compliments, because it's a very serious and very rough note. But well, here it works with my skin chemistry. Also, I mean, it works, somehow it works, and I'm very happy for it. Of course, this is my favorite vetiver fragrance. And yeah, I mean, it's my most complimented fragrance of 2022. Go guess. Sycomore by Chanel, the eau de parfum. I mean, it's to die for. I absolutely love this. Absolutely love this fragrance. It's my favorite, again, my favorite Vetiver fragrance. And if you want to smell expensive, if you want to smell still chic, unique, and if you want to create a good impression, it's Sycomore by Chanel eau de parfum. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below, what are your most complimented fragrances of this year? I would love to hear those, and see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Ciao.